Good morning. This is Dagmar, and I want to thank you for coming to look at the video that I have for today, which is going to be the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, Volume 3. And this one here is called Down the Garden Path. So we have had 6 months with prompts every second Wednesday throughout our time with Sarah and Rachel, and with help from their mom as well. And what we did is that we could actually pick how we were going to translate the prompts into our stitching. So as you might know, that I do a lot of hand slow stitching, and I've had a lot of practice. I've been very fortunate to have the time to do that. So I just started stitching together some pieces that I really thought would work on this. And the way I constructed my spool is that I stitch pieces together. So at some point, if I want to, I can actually deconstruct these pieces and use them in other projects. So as you can see, I've done, some of them have a lot of detail work on them. This is a vintage hanky that I found. I did some couching on it. And you can see some of them are bigger than others. Some I've added flowers to. This was the garden gate, and I painted the background with watercolor. Sort of pull it apart like this. This was my vegetable garden. I had a lot of fun doing this. I had some, I have quite a bit of vintage fabric. So this was upholstery fabric underneath, and then these were just little flowers. They're not lace or anything like that. They're not that old as well. And then this was the birdhouse. Not the birdhouse, I think it was the garden shed. And then I just added different kinds of fabric all the way around and added more canvas stitching and used some pieces, some vintage pieces, to make the background. This one was our flower pots, and I had fun doing that. I made a whole bunch of flower pots. Then I didn't like what I did, so I just cut them out and then stitched them on in different places and using some already made embroidery from the hanky. On this one here is I traced the pattern from a vintage pattern book, and it says, "All birds welcome in my garden." And here's a pretty friendly cat. I think I made the mouth a little bit too big, but that's fine. And this one here, so the cat continued to go like this. And then this one here, which I really liked, was the garden bench. And I have a tree going up here. And then this was the pond that I put in. We could do a pond, and we could also have a fountain over here. This next page was the bird's nest. And I didn't put any birds on here yet. I might go back and do that. This one here was one of my favorite ones. And I just used some fabric flowers from a thrifted bouquet, and then I just cut them all apart and then put them in here with the birdhouses. And you can see these birdhouses don't have any birds sitting near them. And this was the last one on my page. And what I did with this one is that I used a Tim Holtz stamp, and then I used it in permanent marker or in a permanent ink pad. And when I stamped it on, then I used one thread of a 6-stranded cotton, and I went in and filled the entire thing up. I love stitching the names onto my pieces of fabric, and this one I just put Volume 3, 2023. And so I'm not sure when I roll it up. I think I will roll it up this way, like this. I haven't decided quite how to add it onto my spool yet. I did see that Rachel had a really great way of doing that with some ticking I think she used. I'm just going to turn this towards me, and hopefully I'll be able to wind this all up, and you can see it's going to be quite a chunky spool. But as I said before, I can take it off and separate the panels if I want to use them for something else. But I really quite like how the spool will look. And I've gotten some sari silk from Debbie at Dollhouse Vintage. You know, I use a lot of her fabrics in my work. And I'm going to just wrap it around. So you can see how fat this is. Sorry if I'm off camera. And I'm just going to wrap some sari silk around it for the time being. And just tie it in a knot and have it in on my shelf. Just like that. And this is the sari silk that I got from Debbie. And I think this makes a beautiful presentation, and it certainly is 6 months worth of enjoyment of my stitching. So thank you so much for everybody that comes over and gives it a like. It means a lot to me. It's very much appreciated. And if you found this helpful or anything, please ask any questions and I will answer them in the comments. So thank you so much, and I hope you all have a really great day.